Pike's pushed Morton forward up ahead. He's got out of line. Is now Pike going to have a go at Werrell? Don't push him off. He's in the championship fight. Jack Werrell chasing down Carl Jacklin. Further down, Rob Williams and Chris Barnes.
Sensational run outside line now though for the heavy braking zone. Around the outside goes the Audi R8.
Look how much Miller's caught back into play. Exactly. Miller's still such up. He's left on second and change. All of a sudden, Miller's back in play.
Coming down.
Does he have it?
Medeiros is going to get it.
Haven't got it! He's on the outside line though, going into the fastest corner on the circuit. Surely this can't work.
Dominic Ligner has got a sensational run outside line now though for the heavy braking zone. Around the outside goes the Audi R8.
Look how much Miller's caught back into play. Exactly. Miller's still such up. He's left on second and change. All of a sudden, Miller's back in play.
Can Barry do it? Big Barry's going to do it. Big Barry! Good evening and welcome to the Racers Elite Next Gen Series Round 10 from Kentucky. I am James Parfitt. I'm going to be here with the one, the only, the Mr. Dean Biggles here, who's going to be joining me for this 134 lap race. The drivers itself will have one fast repair. There's 6 tyres there for them to take, plus the ones that they're on, of course, and we're on a 1.5 mile oval here this evening as well. The banking turns 1 and 2 will be 17 degrees, turn 3 and 4 will be 14 degrees, and the tri-oval will be 8 to 10 degrees. So stay tuned for that one. Thank you very much, Phil, as well. Welcome in. I hope you we won't send you to sleep too much. Jesse Fox, thank you so much for joining us as well here. And one of the things we do want to say, guys, as well is we want to, from JPB, obviously send our condolences due to the recent loss as well that has taken place here for Tony Trapazzo, who unfortunately passed away last Thursday. So much love to all from the JPB and hope to all his family as well at this difficult time. We are into qualifying here once more, and it's going to be interesting. Let's bring Mr. Dean Biggles into the booth, who will be joining me. Mr. Biggles, welcome in, dear sir. How are you?
Yeah, good evening. Yeah, unfortunately sad news, but, life will have to go on. Racing will have to go on, and it will be going on here. So best wishes out there. We're about halfway through this season as well, too, James. So we're at the 10 marker. Kentucky, of course, we've got Indianapolis, Talladega, Richmond, Phoenix have a little bit of a breather, not too much of a break actually. We just keep going. And then on the 9th of November, the final round at the Texas Motor Speedway.
Yeah.
So, yep. Still, lots of points up for grabs in this championship.
Yeah, definitely. Currently, at the moment, though, it is Andrew Teft out in front on 308 points, with Dennis Kane in second on 290. Then Alex Teft on 283 and Kirby Wainscott on 261. Paul Shaw in fifth on 228, with Spencer Hanneman in sixth on 227. Corey Crow on 167 in seventh. Jarrett Larder on 163 in eighth. Scotty Davis on 145 in ninth, and then Brandon Puffenbarger in 10th on 122. Edwin DeBoer in 11th on 117, with Kensley Smith in 12th on 115. Terry Fennell in 13th on 107. Austin John Smith on 88 in 14th. Damon Doolittle on 71 in 15th. Christopher Soltist Sr. in 16th on 40, Todd Ackerman in 17th, Joshua Neal in 18th, and Eric Jensen in 19th place there. We have got a little bit of a short grid here this evening as well, and we're down to 9 cars, unfortunately, for what will be, I'm sure, a very interesting race as well here. You know, when we talk about NASCARs, we talk about, you know, pit strategies and tyre strategies, and the strategy here seems to be fairly interesting, I think, as well. You know, it's going to be hard to see how this one's going to pan out, I think, here, Biggles, because green flag pit stops, caution pit stops, do you go in, do you, you're not, it's all just going to be like a game of chess, really.
Well, checkmate or check will be the call if you're going to go with the game of chess, exactly. So where you're going to move your pieces on the board at the right places at the right time. With less drivers as well, too, means that you may have more of a chance of being alone on the track. And we all know it's all about the drafting when it comes to these NASCARs, essentially. And that's the Chevrolet and the Ford and the Toyotas. So, yeah, exactly, Jameson. But then again, you probably would have to say with a shorter field that you would expect less caution. So then you're going to have to rely on your ultimate pit stop strategies there, a bit of fuel saving, things like that. It's definitely going to come into play.
Yeah, they definitely are. 5.5 minutes left in qualifying, and at the moment Kensley Smith is out in front on a 31.22. Dennis Kane in second on a 31.29, and then you've got Paul Shaw on a 31.45. So thank you to you all for coming along for what is going to be hopefully a very interesting evening of racing. I think this circuit itself, the way the makeup of the tri-oval works, that banking as well, let's not forget, you know, we're running 17 degrees and 14 degrees. It's going to be interesting to see how they handle that, because obviously cold tyres, you know, putting the throttle down too early going into turn 1 or turn 2, they could end up just spinning round in a circle here. So they've got to be a little bit sensible as well. And we can have a look at the track here with Scotty Davis, who's just leaving the pits, and you can see on that banking situation, you know, he's come out of pits on the exit of 2, he's just about to start going into 3. We've got this nice, quite steep banking that they can use to run round the track, and that's going to be the interesting thing as well, is how they go about using that banking, whether or not they're going to be trying to go underneath, or whether or not they're going to be trying to go around the outside. It's going to be about whether or not somebody can save their tyres. You know, we've got 134 laps here, Biggles. It's not a short race at all here.
Well, we say before, like the most important part of a car, no doubt, is the 4 points of contact onto the track, and that's what you're basically relying on. So you've got to take them out for a nice dinner and take care of them. Because if they start scrubbing and sliding, then that fence can come out and bite you pretty quickly. Another point I wanted to touch on there, James, is also some of the little knacks and tricks, of course, to iRacing in particular, is whether or not you be using the clutch that some of the drivers have on the wheel, or if you're actually using pedal clutch, because that can actually get short shifting, I believe, too. So you have a little less latency from the wipe point of the clutch.
For a shorter green flag run as well. So it's all going to be a game of chess here. You can see the track temperature 123 degrees at the moment as well, and it's nearly 20 to 2 in the afternoon. So it's going to be a bit of a toasty one for these guys to try and have to deal with, and I think that's going to bring a different element to it as well. You know, I think they're going to be very much working on erring on the side of caution. I think as soon as their tyres start dropping off, where they're losing a couple of seconds a lap or maybe a second a lap, they've got to think about coming in. You know, at the end of the day, it's got to be about maintaining that tyres. They've got 6 sets, and obviously 134 divided by 6 gives you about 27 and a half laps. Now obviously we haven't got half a lap in iRacing here, Biggles. It's going to be even full or not, so you're probably looking round about, if they're going to stay on point on that, round about 28 laps every single tyre change. Now obviously they might not, depending on the cautions as well. So with a less field, less cautions hopefully, and they might be able to run longer.
And depending on how you're punishing it on those tyres, of course, as you said, you're expecting around that. But some drivers, as we do know, are a little bit more cautious and take care of those tyres a little bit better. It also depends on where you are on the track too. If you're getting a nice draft, you're not having to slide around as much. Or if you're the one out in front doing some driver change, lead changes as well too can come into effect. Because we all know that when it comes to NASCAR racing, unwritten rule, isn't it? You do kind of switch around your positions a little bit to try to help each other, because when it's in a long race like this, it doesn't make too much of a difference. When you come down to that last crack and 10 or so laps to go, that's when it's all elbows out, every man for himself.
Yeah, absolutely. It is generally that situation regarding an NASCAR race. The most of it is, I think, to be honest with you, as the race runs on, is surviving to see how, you know, they get on and see where they're quick. What tyre saving are they going to do? Sarah Smile, hello from Connecticut. Hello, how are you? And just Sarah as well, Kentucky born and raised. So are you going to go out and win this then, Jess? Is that going to be the thing? Because it's your hometown track. You know, you're going to go out and dominate all the way through. Is that what we're likely to see? Now, we talk about qualifying and we talk about pole position. I'm finding a lot, as the more experience we get with NASCARs, that, you know, pole isn't really as important as being able to get to the end of the race. I think the end of the race and positioning your car right within that last 10 laps, I think, is more important than being able to jump onto pole. Now, we can have a look at the grid here. You can see Scotty Davis is in first, Alex Teff second, Andrew Teff third, Kingsley Smith in fourth, with Dennis Kane in fifth, Paul Shaw sixth, Corey Crowell in seventh, Jarrett Larder eighth, Just Fox in ninth, and Gary Maddow in 10th. So that is bringing up the grid here for you as well. But yeah, I don't think qualifying really is as in the importance of it is as important here, Biggles. I think because of the way the NASCAR works, you can get away without qualifying and still win the race. Yeah,
exactly. That's what makes it also a great series, rather than you have it like on a lot of open road series, like, you know, when you get, i.e. Max Verstappen-esque people, they get out there and they're gone, and you don't see it. They don't see many other cars for the rest of the race. And this chance, every single driver here on this grid has a chance of winning this race, or 10 currently at the moment. So that's the great opportunity for it. Also, you get points for most lap leads, leading most laps and stuff, James. So, and of course, always in a little bit of bragging rights to have that. Nothing feels better than qualifying in P1, which Mr. Scotty Davis has this evening. So he'll have that opportunity to try to get as many laps under his belt before the situation comes. And it's a little bit more difficult to even be in that position for Scotty, because he's the one that has to probably be the first one to make the call as to whether to jump in a pit road and on a caution or even schedule stop. And the other drivers have the luxury of then following him in or not.
I think that's the thing. It's a fixed setup series as well, so there's not a lot of adjustments they are able to do. Obviously, as we know, we've just had the week 13 update, and people are saying that all sorts of things have been dealt with the grass. It's not quite as icy. The gravel actually works like a gravel trap. So hopefully the general changes have taken place, and we are able to, get what is realistic racing. I think that sometimes with the grass, the way the grass works in iRacing, you end up on the grass, it's like ice. Obviously, for us, it's not too bad here, partly because obviously, it's an oval. It's a tri-oval. It's basically almost a version of a D shape if you turned it sideways. So they've got a lot running. They're going to have to lift as well. They, some might break, some might not, some might just go round and lift off as much as possible. But it's going to be an interesting one for these 134 laps here as well. So stay tuned. I think we've lost Gary Maddow here once more. We are going to be up and running. We will be coming in to that Geico restart zone. You can see it on the right hand side. It is blue there on further back, and now we are going to be up and running, and this will be the situation. Barney's waving frantically there as well, and we are up and running for the start of the Racers Elite Next Gen Series live from Kentucky. 134 laps, and Scotty Davis and Alex Teft are swapping positions already with Kinsley Smith and Andrew Teft, of course, behind them. We are too wide, too deep all the way through the field at the moment here, and the only one who is solo is Jess Fox, of course, hometown track there for him, so hopefully he might be able to make his way up through the field. Good start for everybody, I think, Biggles. It's going to be an interesting one. This partly because of the wideness of the track. I don't think we're going to be realistically...
19 coming up deep on the 15 on the wall there as well, as you said. Alex went up on the outside, the 43 machine from the race start there, got a good launch. The outside had much more traction, much more power and grip at the start. Remember, it's just the early days, and then you can see now the insides are starting to get a little bit comfortable. So that is Scotty Davis, the man that qualified it on pole, just dropping a couple of places at the moment. Not too worried about it. Early days, 2 of 134. But they get a little bit closer to getting onto that high line. And you see it at the front there. So 43 there of Alex and Kensley are now doing it in the background. We had a couple of little gainers. Jared Launder in the number 2 machine in P5 had gained a cup 3 places actually from that race start. So I'm curious if he took the high line on the outside. But so far, so good, James. Touch wood, as we're about to complete another lap around Kentucky.
Yeah, we definitely are. 134, 131 to go. You can see the state here as well. There isn't this normal single line or 2 lines. Generally, we see a single line at certain racetracks. Here, it is just take the line that suits you best. I think that's one of the things they're going to be able to do. They're going to be able to run that high line. You can see the 15 at the moment of Kensley out on that high line, preserving tyres as best as he can. Obviously, the harder you steer, the more you're going to scrub. And I think that's the thing. You can see here just that slight little angle for Kensley as he comes onto the tri-oval here as well, and if we go into the state with Alex, you'll probably see a little bit more turn because he's trying to run that bottom line. You can see him there, he's trying to bring it in, the angle's a little bit more left. He's going to put more tyre wear on, he's going to put more damage, duration on them tyres. So it's all about whether or not they're going to be able to maintain them tyres. You can see the 6 on the outside. That's Andrew at the moment as well. He's made a move and just ran that high line straight round him here, Biggles. You can see the way they're situated. They're all over the track. There isn't one working line. There isn't one fast line. It's all about maintaining what you're doing and maintaining your tyres. I think the likes of Scotty Davis, the likes of Alex Teft, the likes of Kensley Smith, they've all got to be thinking about it this early on, because if they start scrubbing them off within 25 laps, they're going to be done.
Yeah, especially at the very start. That's the crucial zone of your tyres, to not to burn through them too quickly and take care of them, get them up to temperature and start getting used to a little bit of wear into them. As you can see, the different racing lines that some of the drivers are doing. You called it perfectly, James. It's about nursing them so that you don't scrub them as much, so that the car doesn't slide. As soon as the car starts sliding, that's when the tyres start wearing more. and that perfect line in and out, of course, but it's not necessarily the absolutely fastest, just the best for your tires. As you can see, some of the drivers were doing that, James. And this is very close between the 15 and the 19. There was contact as well, as you can see on your pictures live. So that's where that bump drafting starts to suck the cars into each other as they're trying desperately to avoid each other. And so far, so good. Good racing there, James. So Andrew still in the lead here from both the Chevrolets. And so it must be his sibling or brother, because Alex Teff is in P2 for the 43 machine. We're not sure. Somebody can let us know in the chat, please, if they are family, siblings, whatever.
I think they are, yeah. I think they're going to be realistically brothers here as well, the Teft brothers there. And unless, of course, they're not, and then, you know, somebody will correct us, I am
Father
sure.
and son or anything? You never know. We've heard that before in a lot of the racing on JP Broadcasting.
Yeah, we have definitely seen the father and son situation here as well. But we're lap 9 of 134. And already you can see Teft opening up this 1.2 second gap at the moment as well. He's flying along in the front. They're brothers, says Sarah Smile. So thank you, Sarah, for that one. They are brothers here as well, so it's great to see. And then we've got the likes of Dennis Kane in at number 4. Ford is trying to get onto the back of the Camry of Paul Shaw. They've all running on the same HP. They've got between 550 and 670 horsepower, depending on the track conditions and the situations with the track and how long you're going. And there's all other wonderful, complicated things in the process. Now, the hometown man, Just Fox, at the back in that 69 Sunoco car. He's got a perfect picture, really, for him, because for the likes of Jess at the moment, in hindsight, he can just run a line. He doesn't have to be up and down and up and down. He can save tyres. He can do all of these things that the others who are battling away and running side by side and drafting, they just can't do. And I think that's one of the things that Jess is kind of in a good position, because they've got the option of now whether or not they're going to tyre save, fuel save, or they're going to go at it. And at the moment, Jess hasn't moved out of that night position, so he's clearly just content to sit there. As you can see, Dennis Kane and the 21 of Corey Crowell going side by side. Corey on the high side, just about to sweep round the outside. Can he just put his nose in front and get that run off? He can. He's got the draft of the 25 in front of him. That's Paul Shaw to help him along here. So they are starting to move around, Biggles, but it depends on how ferocious they want to be on them tyres early on.
I'd love to be in Jess's position, obviously, and then again, I'm a slow driver too, but sitting back at the moment patiently, having not to do any mirror driving at all, just looking forward. In fact, getting a great exit speed at the moment, but you can see he's lifted off there a little bit on the throttle. So I honestly think Jesse's happy just to sit back here at the moment and just see this forming, because he's getting a nice draft. He's still keeping the pack. The only difference, of course, is that Andrew, in the lead of this race, has now built up a bit of a gap. So Andrew's all alone. The rest of this field is bunched up. And if you were Jesse Fox like this, you could see lifting a little bit, just happy. At some point, he's going to have to go. If I've got too much exit speed out of here, I have to absolutely go for it. But Tuck's in behind right now, just playing it safe, playing it cool, smart, and if anything, as you said, maybe a little bit more kinder on those tyres, which will come in effect in approximately, you said, about lap 27 or so, we're expecting first pit stops.
That's literally just me working on the maths of 134 divided by 6, which is the amount of tyres they have got, of course. I don't think I'm too far off the calculation as I then pull out my calculator and work out. Yeah, well, oh no, 22.33, but they should be, the likes of Jesse here should be able to go a little bit longer. It's just gone up past Shaw there as well, so a job done for Jesse. Drops in front of Shaw. Now you can see Andrew Taft, he's leading the race at the moment. He's leading the championship by 18 points here as well. He's got 4 wins out of the 7 races counted, 5 top 5s, 8 top 10s. He's looking like a little bit of a shoo-in for this one, isn't he, really? He's out in front by 1.6 seconds at the moment.
Andrew, Max Verstappen, Andrew, especially of a gap like that so early in this race. I'm just wondering, I was going to say, is he pushing it too hard, too quick? If that escape, not allowing anybody else to push you along. But then again, after you just mentioned that history of statistics behind the man, then I'd have to say he pretty well knows what he's doing.
I think that's the thing. He does pretty much know. And the problem is for Dennis Kane here, who is second in the championship, he's losing points. The more points that he starts to lose, the more chance that Andrew's going to be able to wrap it up in a couple of more races. You know, you've got to make the move, Dennis. You've got to be trying to run something different. You can see Andrew's up the road.
Dennis is aware of that, James. He's
got to go, bro. He's got to go. He can't let it
get him
away.
in those driver interviews at the end of the race, and it's like, well, before the race, are you thinking about the championship, stuff like that? They're like, no, I'll take one race at a time. I'm going like that. Like, yes, of course you are thinking about the championship at the end of the day, just playing it cool. And Dennis is slowly making his way. Dropped one place from the start of this race. Currently running in P6. We're running on board with the number 4 machine, the Detroit man. He's like, hey, guess what? Motor City on board here. I know we're in Kentucky, okay? I know we're in, the classic moonshine country and bourbon and all that sort of stuff. But he's from the man where they built these motor vehicles. And he's definitely got the pedal to the metal.
Yeah, he definitely has. He's just gotten past the 15 of Kensley Smith here, and now he's got Crow in front of him in that Ford. 2 Fords together, which could be quite interesting here as well. And hopefully for Corey, as we look back onto the back end of Dennis now as well, you've got to see him come. He's just got to come. That's not ideal from Jess in the middle, as you can see them go 3 wide on the back end here as well, with Scotty Davis, Jess Fox and Kensley Smith. Fox is making his way through the order. Davis is down on that inside line here now as well. So for Fox, he's still running that outside line. He's still preserving his tyres. He's still doing a great job at the moment.
Yeah, Scotty's dropped now 5 back from the Toyota machine. So he's obviously maybe just switching over completely into a preserve mode. Starting on the front row of the grid, just as you said. This is the key you said at the start of this one, didn't you, James? It doesn't really matter exactly where you're qualifying. It's just about where you're going to finish at the end of the race. And you can see he's just taking a completely different approach there. It's not like we know that the man has speed. We know that these drivers have speed, because if you put those qualifying laps in, you can do it anytime, any place, anywhere. But during a race, it's a different ball game, and he's just preserving that situation at the moment. So currently, he's actually dropped back to P8 now. Just lost another place there to Jesse Fox, actually scrambling with Jesse Fox side by side. So we'll see how that pans out for the overall strategy. You can see the 19 just in the background at the moment. Happy to sit back behind Jesse Fox now, dropping quite a bit. I'm not quite sure if it made a little bit of a mistake or just realizes, hey, I know something that you don't know yet, guys. 22 of 134, James, 113 to go.
Yeah, definitely. Well, it's going to be coming into that pit window if they're going to use all 6 sets. Of course, cautions looking like they're going to be on the premium here once more. I don't think we're going to get the insurmountable amount of cautions that we have seen in some races across leagues as well that we broadcast, but it's going to be a nice tidy one here once more. It'll only be when the tyres start going off whether or not they're gonna go in, and to be honest, I don't think Alex and Andrew Teft, of course, brothers here in this series, are thinking too much about that at the moment, Biggles. I think, to be honest, they're just all pedal to the metal and try and get away as much as possible.
And they are, just to let everybody know, and of course, if you are tuning in for the first time, there is Discord link, should be Discord link in here as well too, James, because for the Racers Elite, they are, believe it or not, and some of the leagues do that. You know that, James, right? When most of the drivers are in the chat together in the Discord channel. So that's going to be interesting. So brothers are in there. We do have a group of other drivers there, like Corey, there's Dennis, there's Janet, there's Jesse Fox and stuff like that. So whether they're communicating to each other or some of them are just listening, some of them might not be saying anything, some might be going every once in a while if there's a mistake, you know how it goes, James. But it's generally a pretty friendly bunch, isn't it? And a friendly league when everybody's in the same voice chat at once whilst they're racing flat out.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things that I never was any good at, partly because I'm not very good at driving in general. So, I couldn't be able to talk to people at the same time. So I had to sort of just deafen myself, and so I couldn't hear anyone. But for these guys, it doesn't seem to be too much of an issue. And I think for Crow here running side by side with Dennis Kane. Kane's underneath, of course, in that number 4 board there. You can just see him on the running that low line as well. We're going to be, I think from this point of view onwards really now, is they've got to be looking at what they're doing. You can see Dennis just get a little bit out of shape coming off turn 2. Yeah, and he just almost tapped the wall. So he's got to be starting now to think, okay, am I losing my time here? Because they're already 1.2 seconds off their times. At the likes of Andrew is that situation at the moment. He's 32.5 was last time, 31.18. Now the interesting thing is brother Alex is closing him down on a 32.44. So he pulled out a tenth and a bit over him. The gap's now below a second. So Alex Teff seems to have the bit between his teeth here as well, and then starts chasing down his brother. So could be interesting to see how the Teff brothers play this one.
You called it. You absolutely called it. This is now approaching crunch time of tire time. So we're right on board for a little bit and have a look at the struggle of this. This is the only thing, too. You kind of think, well, you know, Andrew leading this race from his brother Alex that we're riding on board with. If you push it too far up the road and you have this fantastic big gap, that it's all going to be neglected if there's a caution car comes out. You know what I mean? All that hard work's gone. Look at the different racing lines that they're taking now. So Alex, the brother, has elected to go up on the inside there. He's going to let the car just slide a little bit, not actually slide itself, of course. Steer the car into the corner. Very smooth in, smooth out, you know. Be very gentle. And then come back in. But the different racing line from Andrew. And look at how much that cost Andrew, actually, because that's another second shaved. Unless, another thing is, too, there, James, that Andrew is feeling like he wants to have a little bit of a push draft from his brother.
Well,
by slowing up deliberately.
Yeah, that's always a possibility. But have you ever heard of a driver who generally slows down on purpose? I haven't.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, if you're working as teammates, of course. But another thing is, once again, James, as I said, like, what's the point of being up the front by 30 or 40 seconds if there's a possibility of, obviously, a caution or pit stop? Pit stops, so you can come in and out early, but it's just not worth it. I mean, you need to have somebody, especially in NASCARs, to tow you along to help out. And it seems like that's the call, isn't it? Because now he's allowing his brother in there. I don't see any major mistakes from him in that driving. And you know, according to Alex's record this season, the man pretty much knows what he's doing.
Yeah, I think he does. And then 32.63, 32.55. So Alex setting the faster time of the two by another tenth and a little bit. So he is closing down here and he's starting to get involved now. This is where he'll start picking up the toe. He'll start picking up the little bits of draft as they come out of the corners. You know, it's whether or not Andrew's tyres are gone and he now is struggling with the car. You know, he's almost 1.5 seconds off what his fastest time was. So clearly he's gone out and he's hammered the straight at the beginning. Try to open up a gap. It hasn't worked. Tyres dropped off. Alex said, thank you very much. I'm coming in as well. So he's having a good old go here.
So Scotty Davis has gone in early, but there's another thing I wanted to say is that they are starting to drop Dennis Kane there in P3. So that's what I'm more interested to look at. By working together, are they allowing that little bit more of a draft to push away? That could be the strategy between the brothers here. Yeah, because that's the key. I'm just looking at that telemetry there. You can see it's 4.41s, hovering the 3s, hovering the 4s. We'll see how that pans out. If they start dropping too much to that P3 position, then you have to do something about it. But then again, we have more cars in. Corey Colwell, Jesse Fox, Kensley Smith, Paul Shaw, and Scotty went in first.
Yeah, they're all in. All started coming in as well. Jarrett Larder, Dennis Kane, Alex Teft, and Andrew. I'm sure they will be in as well. You can see actually both of them dropped down together. Is he? He thought about going on, but then didn't quite make it work. Dennis Kane's also come in behind them. So at the moment, nope. Jarrett Larder is also going to be coming in. It's all about what Scotty Davis is going to be able to do and get his lap back here as well. You know, he's registered as a lap down. He's obviously gone into the pits here, guys, as well. So don't panic too much. He hasn't made a mistake. But he is now all about where he can get on to the back of and who he's able to play and jump with. You know, we started on lap 32, 31, 32 and 33. So from that situation, has Scotty Davis pulled off a bit of a masterstroke as he starts now just getting his lap back, and he comes out not too far off the likes of Paul Shaw. I think Davis is actually going to get Shaw as Shaw just comes out.
There he is, bang on the
he
outside.
is.
Pulled it.
Yep, done. So Davis did manage to jump Shaw, didn't unfortunately get past Smith and there as well, but you know, hey, a place is a place, and I got a funny feeling he might jump Dennis Kane as well.
Yes, Dennis is in pit road right now. Dennis is still in pits and probably just about to get the car back onto the tarmac, and that's definitely a job done. So Dennis Can, unfortunately, has now jumped to plump last because we didn't have Gary start the race. So both of the brothers are still leading this one from Corey now in P3, so the other Ford machine. And but look where Jesse is. So there you go out there for the Jesse fans of Stephanie there. And I'm not sure there's anyone else. I mean, Jesse himself was chatting earlier, but he can't be chatting right now. He's driving. Well, he shouldn't be. But yeah, up into P4, 5 positions gained, and that pit stop's done for the 69 machine. Oh, caution. That's, I think it's Scotty Davis. Yes. Now, I wonder if that's coming out of pit road or not there, James, because Scotty just went in before. Here it is. So this is coming out of pit road. Expect cold tires here. No, this is entering back into pit road. And he locks up, and oh, there's a technical issue. Unfortunately, it looks like with Scotty's car because yeah, he just came out of pit road and coming back in again. I just noticed what he was doing. That indicates to me that something's happened. Like, you know, a child's come into your racing rig and pulled out the USB cable or something. Unfortunately, like that, or the cat's clawed behind your racing pedals. Who knows? That's not. Yeah, Scotty's having to pull off like that and brake means that there's something that's gone wrong on the car's end or his end, unfortunately, and that's called the caution. Oh, more pit stops as well. Alex, the racer has gone back in again, as well as Corey Conroll. So that's very, very interesting, James. Well, they've gone back in for a second time just after they made a pit stop. Fuel? Now. You wouldn't put tires on if you just slapped some fresh boots on, unless they kept those. They couldn't have kept those boots. Was that mean, James? Wait, I mean, you said 6 sets, right? I believe at the start. Total for this, all right. So we're on 38 or 134. Let's say, you know, we get to about 40, 41 before we probably go green flag racing again. So I'd like to take another pit stop. We don't know if they took tires on or if they took some fuel on. Coming back in again indicates to me that they're going to have an edge of a few more laps over those other drivers that didn't elect to go in. So that may be one of those chess play maneuvers that you were talking about, because you know what it's like, isn't it, when you come down to the crunch time at the end of a race and you have a couple of lap fresher tires, that's when you push. Use it or lose it, as they say. Suck it up, Buttercup. We should get ready to go green flag racing as everybody is back out on track. You can see your track map up there too, just underneath the fantastic JPB Broadcasting logo that you have there, James, as well as our sponsors. So that to get going again, and all Alex did by that boxing course, Alex Teff, the 43 machine, by losing the second spot place to Andrew. He's first actually. Sorry, my apologies. He's in P5, so that's not a bad position considering you have 9 drivers currently on the grid. Make that back.
Yeah.
But as you said, only just a couple of laps fresher tyres now. About 5 lap fresher tyres, actually, to be correct, James. But you're not burning through those tyres as much when you're on the caution, remember, because you're going a lot slower.
Yeah, I think with Alex, who obviously come in off the lead, and now he's sitting in that sixth place. Andrew again, he didn't go in, he just stayed out. The pace car lights are on. We will be green for this time around, so let's see what happens here once more as well. But it's going to be very, very interesting to see how this one all pans out, I think, here once more. So stay tuned for this one as they come down the back straight at the moment, Biggles.
Yes, James. So I was just double confirming. Thank you very much for Phil. So make sure that we haven't lost your audio there, James. I bet you are all good at the moment. Pace car pills in. Racing will resume. Lap 40 of 134. 95 to go. 1 caution so far. Pit stops for everybody. And 2 also pit stops for 3 of these gladiators here in Kentucky. Come on, pace car, peel in. You're a good pace car. Get in there.
It will do that wonderful direct left thing that he does all of a sudden, and then we're going to be up and
surprised it doesn't
running.
lose the rear end and start sliding around on a turn like that.
I think that's the
Guess they have
thing
better
with this.
tyres than the cars.
And this pace car clearly can do dodgy things like that as well. As we're coming now, you can see them here for this restart on lap 40. Teft, Fox, Smith, Shaw, Teft, Crowell, Larder, Kane. And obviously, at the moment, we are down to 2, 4, 6, 8 cars, as we believe that Davis and Gary are both out here as well. And you can see Andrew Teff getting the jump straight off the beginning. There's Smith is running that inside line. He has cleared Fox already, and now Alex Teff is trying to come through on Jesse Fox here once more. So stay tuned as we're back up and running on lap 41.
Let's see how they pan out. Jesse Fox is on the outside, the 6.9 machine there, but scrubs off a little bit of speed. Elects to tuck in behind the 15 maybe, or stay on the high line. Keep an eye on the 43 machine. Remember there, if Alex was leading this race earlier, he's electing to go for it here. Whoa, that's a really deep lunge out there to the outside of Kensley Smith there as he goes up in the wall. Drops it back down, maintains the extra speed there from the Tarboro, North Carolina driver of the Kensley Smith. Of course, we have Chevrolet as Chevrolet in 2 to 5. Ford leading this race of the other Teff brother there of Andrew. And so far, so good there, James. On the green flag again, 42.
Yep, 43. We've just started. Andrew Teft out in front. Jesse Fox sitting in that 3rd place. Up 6 places as well here for Jesse Fox. So let's see how he gets on and whether or not he's going to be moving through here as well. Right. Hi, I'm here. Hello. As well. And Rhea, I knew I was going to do that. I knew at some point I'd join on the... why didn't I check? Oh, you'll be okay. We're on lap 44. You're fine. Don't you worry. We've got plenty of more racing to come. And one man that needs to be moving up here for his own championship standings is Mr. Kane. Of course, he's battling down in 7th with Paul Shaw at the moment. But Dennis Kane, he's losing on points, isn't he? He needs to be moving his way through the order here.
As you can hear, the cars going past the commentator's booth at the moment. Dennis, you need to be the menace. Dennis the Menace Kane. That's what we're going to give you a nickname right now. Welcome along, of course, to the races elite league there. You know, I give drivers nicknames. Dennis the Menace. Menace is a good thing, Dennis. I'm telling you, you got to be the menace to the other drivers by winning all the time and taking points away from him. That's what I'm giving you the nickname, Dennis. So live up to the nickname I've freshly branded you, as you're seeing at the moment. The battle between Corey is a Jarrett there, Lada, and Corey is that Corey Conroy on the inside? Yes, it is. That's the 21 machine. As they cross the line, start 46.
Yeah, 46 to go. Corey has run that inside line here over Jarrett, and has now made Jarrett run up that middle line as well. I think the interesting thing is whether or not Jesse's still going to just be running the line that he's been running all the way through, that kind of upper middle line, and he's just running the same thing. You can see Alex Teft underneath in that 43 running that much tighter line here. Jesse's just doing his thing, going around, doing what he's doing there as well. So great action here once more as well. So let's see how this one pans out as we are nearly coming up to lap 50. 3 laps to go, 1 caution deep at the moment. Of course, we've lost Davis earlier on. Scotty Davis did just pull over. We're going to presume it was a technical issue, and he has unfortunately retired from the race. But Alex Teff trying to get onto the back of Fox, and I think he needs to, because he can just see his brother up the road there getting away.
He needs to use Jesse Fox as a slingshot, essentially. Yeah, we did lose Scotty Davis. That definitely looks like some sort of technical issue and stuff like that, because especially with Scotty pulling across to the side of the road. And there it is. The 43 will slip on by there. So not quite yet, actually. As you'd be surprised, once you get up on that high line there, the 69 machine, if he likes to come back down on the inside, he can have the extra speed and momentum. The 43 is going to slide in. These angles are very deceptive, aren't they, James? Because it looks like he's going to slide on by easily. Now the angle will show that one. See whether or not Jesse tucks in behind, or if Jesse elects to stay. All right, see, there it is. So there, Jesse actually knew the 43 machine was going to slot up on behind him. Now it's bringing the 21 into play there of Corey Crowell. Sorry, Crowell. I
think.
The Corey.
Corey, I'm just calling Corey. I'm sure Corey will be happy with just Corey. We don't want to butcher his surname any more than we probably already have.
Oh, Corey's greedy for that one. Get straight through.
Yeah, he definitely was.
I think he definitely caught Jesse off.
Yeah.
I didn't think Jesse even was expecting that one. Jesse's like going, all right, we're going to slot back in your positions, all right? It's like sitting in, going to class and then you got your chairs and everybody sits there until the teacher says, okay, it's class resumed. No. That was like everybody just takes any chair quickly as possible. In the background as well, too, a bit of an action between the number 2 and number 4 machine. That's Dennis the Menace, as I was mentioning before. Then he's menacing his way past Jarrett, which he's trying his absolute best for the 4 machine. He said crucial for his championship to get a lot of points, James.
Yeah, it's tough here at the moment as well for Dennis, because he's not looking like he's quite on the pace, but he's not looking too far from being on the pace. I know that might sound a weird thing to say, but he's almost there. He's almost carrying that speed through his Dennis, and he goes through. You can see he's just gone in the inside of Jarrett now as well, and he's got to be trying to either use Jarrett to help him along. In an ideal scenario, a 2-car train with Jarrett Larder tucked up behind you and just pushing you along, you will start closing down on Jesse here. Jesse's in this kind of half a second gap to Corey in front. Alex is in front of Corey here as well. Obviously, we saw Corey, the aggressive nature of the move he made on Fox. Fox was not expecting Jesse to come through there, but Jesse just carried far too much speed, or more speed, and did it and went through. So, for Corey now, what I would be doing, knowing that Alex was running up the front, I would just stay with him. Stay with him, let him pull you along, let you get onto the back of Smith, and maybe, just maybe, he might get you onto the back of Andrew up front.
That's it. That would be the plan. Working together once again. These NASCARs, you have to do it the next gen. You got to rely on other people on the track. You see what happens when you start reeling in a car. It helps your speed, helps their speed. Being alone is the biggest problem when you are alone, like Andrew is up the road there by almost 2 seconds. But he's got that skill to do it, and he can get easily caught. Before in the past, he got caught by his brother. And well, another thing, of course, if you were the likes of Jesse, of course, you got the fan boost behind you, so you can hear the cheer from everybody in the grandstand here. It looks like a sold-out Kentucky Speedway. Going into that one. And another thing I had to mention real quick there, James, is that we are on 55 laps down to 80 to go. And it's been perfect driving from everybody because that only caution car was because Scotty's just had to pull off of some sort of technical issue. So far, so good, touch wood. We haven't had any incidents from drivers.
Yep. And hopefully you haven't just gone out and done that famous commentator's coincidence or commentator's curse or, ooh, Alex, you don't want to be coming across the nose too much like that. If Corey was in a little bit deeper, that would have been you across the front end of him here. This is Corey Crowell and Alex Teft fighting it out in for this third place. There's no real need to be making this shaky move already here. You've got, as you said, 78 laps still to go, give or take. And you've still got time to position yourself, Biggles. They've just got to now start moving them around. Pit laps 33. So by 66, we're going to see them start coming back through once more. So let's see how this one pans out.
You're absolutely right. We will see the likes of Andrew in leading this race there, Kensley Smith as well. But Alex and Corey, you can see right now, they boxed on lap 37, James. So they get that extra 5 laps that we were wondering why they were doing that. We'll see how it pans out if they elect to stay out or if they elect to come in with the rest of the bunch. There's no point in changing that pit stop unless they're happy just to sit in the midfield there and get those toes from forwards, backwards, sideways, up and down rather than being in the front. We'll see. That's as you said, it's a game of chess, James, and we don't know what the next play is going to be.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things. It is just literally all about making sure you're in and around that area at the end of the race. It doesn't matter where you are now. You've just got to make sure that when it comes to the end, you're in with a fight. You're in with a chance of taking this win. And for these drivers, these next, as you say, 74 laps almost, are going to be imperative that they do 2 things. A, they want to keep the cars out the wall. They cannot put damage on that car. Any slight bit of damage, progressive damage, will cause them problems towards the end. B, they've got to nail this next pit stop. They've got to go in because this could be defining, as we can see the number 15 of Casey Smith just run up there. He had no coming in at all. He didn't have nothing off the exit of turn 4 and he literally just slid up the track. So he's got to be looking for Kensley, pitted on lap 32. By lap 64, he might have to make another one.
I think Kensley, I'm just curious if Kensley is struggling or not. He went back up onto the high line, comes back down into the low, spotting the apex almost on that line. So I think Kensley's struggling with the car and letting it just slide and flow more than anything up and down the elevation change that you said on this track. Or it literally is struggling with tires. I don't see the rear end loosey-goosey a little bit, but then again, we're not inside that car feeling it. Drivers do feel every little bump and gritty. Depends on how much you spend on your racing rig, really, to how much you're really going to spend or feel on your fingertips. But the North Carolina driver at the moment is happy just to yield a couple of places, knowing that it's a long race to go, 74, in fact. So, once again, see how it pans out. But I have to say, Jesse Fox is doing good. Out there in the chat, hello, of course. And Jane, Phil across the pond's off to bed. It is late for you, Phil. Thank you very much, Phil across the pond. The number 1 fan of the JB Broadcast
Don't
Network.
upset Rhea. He's been here every single time as well.
Rhea. Sorry, Rhea. I'm in trouble now.
Yeah, you
two can fight over that.
I tell you what, don't be scrapping them. I tell you, I don't want no full ball going on in the chat here. We were talking about Dennis Kane earlier on, and we're talking about the fact that obviously he's got to be looking at moving through the field for his championship here as well. And he started to make that move. He started to come back in. Now, whether or not he's made the move too late, only we are going to find out in the next bunch of laps. But Dennis Kane, I'm pleased to say, has moved himself up into the place that he started in 5th place. So Kane in 5th now and trying to get onto the back of Jesse Fox.
And now I'm sorry, Rhea. I'm sorry. I'm going to be in trouble with Rhea.
Rhea's there already.
Don't
Look, you can see it in chat. How dare?
How dare?
I'm sorry.
All right, it's okay. I'll send you a Christmas present. But Dennis, sorry, I don't know if I can continue to call Dennis the Menace, but Dennis is slowly, you've said this before, James, in racing, it's the quiet achievers. It's just getting on with it, right? And generally the cameras, most of the time in oval, like road races, we know, there's many drivers you didn't even put the camera on during the whole race, right? And they just quietly get it done. And I think, Dennis is getting it done on track, but who you're saying?
I think that's the thing as well. Like, generally, when we come to the standings at the end, we will mention a name and go, oh, I didn't realise he was in third or fourth, because he's just gone about his business. Now, for Dennis, we obviously know his situation. We picked up on the fact that obviously he needs to be moving up, and we've already said this for him, because Andrew currently at the moment to Dennis here is almost 5 seconds up the road. So, but Dennis, we know his situation, so we know where he needs to be, and we know what position would be best for him at the moment as well. Because if you looked at the situation with the way their scoring system works here in this league, of course, you've got to think first place is going to get 46 points. You know, Dennis is down in fifth at the moment. He's going to get 39. So that's another 7 places, or 7 points, sorry, he's going to lose. So he's got to really start thinking, I've got to minimize this loss, because if he doesn't, he's going to lose 7 places down, of course, and Andrew with the lead lap situation.
He's got to think about pit stop strategies or something like that, because the pace is so evenly matched with a lot of those drivers at the moment, and without the limited amount, once again, touch wood, cautions not to come and play. So he's got to think the strategy between the Teff brothers of Andrew and Alex, who are currently leading 1 and 2. More so, I'd have to say Alex has the advantage at the moment for 43 machine, because he's got the pit stop done on lap 37. So he's got 5 or so more laps up his sleeve of tyres, fresher boots. Corey Conroll as well. Who's going to pit road right now on the inside lane there? Is that that's Jesse Fox.
Yeah, Jesse's
So Jesse Fox taking an early pit stop here. We'll see how that pans out.
Well, I think, to be honest, this probably could be the right thing for him to do here. You can see on the left-hand side, Fox, Smith and Shaw are all in the pits. Now, Kane is just chasing down Corey Crowell up the front of the field. And then you've got the Test brothers of Alex and Andrew, who, well, to be honest with you, he just seems like he's absolutely nailed Kentucky. He's got it down, he's got it absolutely minted, and he's just full foot to the floor here as well. So
he had a wiggle there, James, for a second as you said that. I saw the rear and just wiggle for it. We haven't seen too much of that just yet, but I thought you were almost going to give him a commentator's curse, or as Zachary would say, there is no commentator's curse, it's just coincidence, James.
Yeah, commentator's coincidence. That's what we say.
He's going in too.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if Alex actually went round on him here as well, because he has gone round. What about Kane? Kane's coming in. Corey Crowell and Alex Teft have gone past. So it's now whether or not, for Jesse here, whether or not he's going to jump both of these as he's coming round off that final corner.
That'll be the key, as Jesse's going to put the banker laps in under the colder tyres. Get it done, focus. Jesse's a very smooth operator, Carlos Sainz would say, because Jesse has been a very, very smooth at that wheel there once again with the fan boost and the home crowd advantage as the Kentucky drivers pushing like mad. You can see the rear end sliding just a little bit there, James, because he knows it's an advantage to try to get as quickly as possible and gobble up a couple of drivers. You can see at the moment, Andrew just come out there. Dennis Kane still in there. Jarrett Lada is coming out of the pit road right now. Will he have enough pace to get past them? There's the 4 machine. There's Dennis coming out, and Jarrett going to be close, James.
Yeah, it is. There's Kane now. I've got a funny feeling Jesse should get Kane here. Kane is going to be behind Fox, I believe. Fox does come through here once more, and Kane does come out. He doesn't, unfortunately, jump Andrews a little bit further up the road, but Corey Crowell and Alex Teff still to pit.
Yeah, they have a couple more laps at the sleeve. Remember, they're boxing lap 37, James, and we, according to the numbers, of course, you said we're doing about, 35 on these sets of tyres, so that's that strategy. We thought it was a bit strange that they boxed under the caution car. We'll see how that's going to pan out for them. What are the other times that everybody else is doing? We don't know 100% yet, because They're on their out laps. There it is. Spot your braking point. You don't see a big lock up there. You do see a lock up actually a little bit there from Corey.
Yeah.
Got to be careful. You don't get speed in the pit road. You do not want to get a drive through when this field is so close right now. Lap 72. 62 to go, James.
Yeah, Andrew has just gone round. He's going to try and get round again before these guys come out of the pits. He obviously needs to be jumping these as much as possible or getting as close as he can. This, for me, would be a short fuel, no tyres, and off I go. Unless I just need them, but at the moment it's looking like Andrew is going to come round and jump Corey. Alex is just moving. He's just moving out here, but Andrew's already cleared both of them and he's already up the road. So what about Jesse Fox? How close is Fox going to get? I think he's going to clear Crow. Is he going to clear Alex? Alex is still on that infield. He's still coming out. Here comes Jesse now. This is going to be a close one. Yeah, Fox is going to nestle in behind him, but Jesse survived the onslaught and he got himself back into third, just not enough to get past Alex.
But it was one position more gain for Jesse, so that's perfect. Just got the momentum and speed at the moment because Alex does not want to push those tyres too much as getting temperature, and Jesse's going to take the high line on the outside, get the speed and the momentum, tuck back in, come in the inside, perhaps, covered off there by Alex. Alex said, nah, not on my watch. Jesse, I'm going to force you around the long way. So great battling at the moment, as you can see on your pictures for P2. Andrew still come back out at the lead of the race. Almost a wall tank slapper there from Alex. Feeling a little bit of the pressure there from the Fox man.
Yeah, I think he probably is at the moment. He's just got to be able to nestle in and get his head down as Alex is giving his tyres a couple of laps. He's now got to start thinking, I can go. You know, your brother is 6.3 seconds down the road. So it's tough for anybody looking at the moment to get a hold of Andrew, but the battle is still on here for the final podium positions.
And Andrew just put the fastest lap into as a banker while they're battling it out here, trying to maintain that 6-second gap that Andrew has in the lead of this race. Remember, it's also bringing Kensley Smith into play there. That's a 15 machine you can see there with the purple or blue and yellow livery. Sorry, orange livery. You can see it, and he's going to be on the inside. So he's sitting back enjoying this. Then you have a little bit of a gap back to Mr. Dennis, of course, as you said, he needs to be up here fighting for more of those crucial places and positions. Let's ride on board right now, Kensley, and have a look at the action from the North Carolina driver.
Oh, whoa. Oh. Man, that was
This is not a NASCAR
close.
sprint race to get into the playoffs. You don't have to do some wall riding right now there, partner.
No, you see Fox is now ducked down off to that inside line. He was kind of running the same line that Smith was running, this higher line, almost wall-touching line. You see we're going into 3. We're just going in, we're coming down, and then we're going to be coming up again. So it's a down-up motion that we have got on board here with Smith, and he is in this Chevrolet, of course, and let's see how this one pans out, but it's going to be very interesting these next few laps, coming in now with about 56 remaining.
And they're pushing like mad, James, as well. They're going up right next to the wall, and you come back down to the apron, you're really pushing it. That's why you're seeing some of the fastest laps that these drivers are pushing it right now. They go, oh, these tires feeling great. They got fresh new boots on, and these boots are made for walking.
Yeah, they definitely are.
Racing.
Well, same thing. Depending on what you wear on your feet. Some people don't wear anything. Some people wear socks. Some people wear, racing boots. I don't know. Let me know in chat what you race as well. Ria's
mountain
upset
hiking
with you.
boots, James, all the time.
She said, no, you cursed my race for sure. Purposely took me out.
Me? I thought it was James.
I don't know. I don't know if Ria's talking in the wrong YouTube chat here, or she might be having a chat with somebody else. I'm not entirely sure. So let's see how this one pans out. Dennis Kane trying to make his move back on to the end of Fox, who has lost that place to Smith, who's now trying to get onto the back of Teff. But it's all about what Kane's going to be able to do.
Yeah, Ken's going, what does the Fox say? Jesse say, what does the Fox say? Haven't heard that one in a while, have you? Look at the pace in the background there. The 21 machine of Corey. He's wanting to be a part of this party. And yeah, once again, we're seeing this a little smart play from Jesse again, more conserving the tires there, not wanting to be a part of this fight, realizing it ain't over yet because we've got plenty of time to go. And we know that Jesse had gained, what did Jesse gain? Actually, like 6 positions at this point, dropped now back to P6, gaining 3. But keep an eye on that one for later. Bunch of predictions out there in the chat too for your podium positions, your top 3. Please give them now. We don't want to get too close to the end of the race before you can start putting your bets. Otherwise, the odds are going to start dropping drastically. Let's see, James. If we have James.
Yes.
James, do you copy? There you are.
I am here.
I lost you there for a second, partner. All right. Great battle between Dennis and Corey now.
Yeah. Corey's just gone and slipped on the inside of Dennis at the moment with Mr. Fox dropping down. Corey now coming on to the side of Smith as they go around his tri-oval as well. It's looking like, to be honest, a few of these drivers might be getting a little bit ropey here and a little bit slidey already here on lap 83. Once more, the slide, the tyre deck, the wear could all be causing the problem.
Nothing like a bit of loosey-goosey when motor racing in an oval because it does. You got to rely on the full concentration. Some people actually just put this up. I don't know why. Some people go, hey, it's easy. It's just turn left. No, it's not. It's very, very difficult because you're talking about minute movements of the steering wheel. You're talking about minute little throttle pushes on your right foot, the gas. You want to ease it in and out. You barely touch the brakes on an oval like this. It's all, and then a little bit of downshifts and stuff like that if required. But it's precision racing, and on top of it, it changes and dynamically reflects the way you're driving your car, what the cars are around it as well too. Because as soon as a car comes up next to you, unlike just regular open wheel road racing when you're following a car, that'll suck you in. That'll change the way your speed and exit comes into play. So it's very difficult, and the drivers have to be at that utmost concentration levels. You can't even just blink and check your YouTube messages, James, when you're racing like this. You got to just concentrate.
Yeah, I think that's the thing as well. You know, we're obviously, you know, me being a European and you coming from Oz, and NASCAR isn't highly up there as well. You know, from Europeans' point of view, we get F1 shoved down our throat, you know, like anybody's business here as well. So, you know, you can go into these and think, oh, it's just a left turn. It's just this. You just get in the car and drive left. Well, I've tried it, and I'm not going to lie. It is not easy. I literally shot my tyres to pieces within about 5 laps and just ended up sliding down the field. You know, I think that race, I did more pirouettes than a ballerina, to be honest, in Swan Lake. It was just absolutely unbelievable. So for these guys to be able to keep this car on track going forward as well is doing a great job. They're already heroes in my book, because at the end of the day, the likes of Andrew is opening up time. That's the thing. He's lost 3 attempts in that last lap to his brother, but his brother's still not making the impact here. He is literally still 6 seconds back. So let's see how it all works out here as well. So honestly, for me, oval is harder than road, and that's exactly the thing, Ria, as well. We were talking about road. You go left, you go right, you do it very shortly. You might only left, I don't know, 14, 15, 16, 17, however many laps. You never do 134 lap in a road car, so you're never going to see the difference of what these guys are doing. And I think that's the thing for most of these people who just watch NASCAR and think, yeah, they just go left. Well, yeah, you're right. Unless we stick them on Watkins Glen, of course, and then you've got a different entity, because, you know, these cars are like house bricks on wheels. They don't brake necessarily when you want them to. You know what I mean? You can hit the brake pedal, Biggles, and you just can't get them to stop.
They're heavier and they're more gruntier as well, but they're a little bit more like throwing a tractor around a track sometimes, well, a Mack truck around a track. But on top of it, remember when you're regular road racing on road tracks, you're not side by side. There's some tracks you can actually be side by side practically through the whole track, but give or take, that's very, very risky. And so when you're driving side by side, racing somebody on a regular road course, you're not thinking about that side draft and the air, exactly what Ria had mentioned as well too. That changes the dynamics of that. So once again, just different ball game. You have to have a respect for all forms of motor racing because they're all different. And it's still panning up to be a fantastic race. So 45 to go, James. 90 of 134. Green flag conditions all the way, apart from the retirement there of Scotty. So far, so good. Andrew still, as you said, maintaining that 5-second gap out there. Pretty much untouchable at this point, but once again, a caution can just bunch them back up again all over the place. What about any other surprises out there that caught you off guard?
No, well, Fox has unfortunately gone backwards this stint of the race. Obviously pitted on lap 67. Should expect him in round about 100, but I think for Mr. Jesse Fox here, I think he's struggling a little bit because he's kind of on a 32.5 here, where the likes of Jarrett, who's behind him, is still on a 32.4, and Kensley in front of him is going a little bit slower as well. So for Smith and Fox, I don't think they're quite comfortable in this second lap, this second stint almost, because obviously they had the first one, they went and got changed, come back in. So technically we're on the third stint, I should say. But he's got to now try and do what he did in the first stint for Jesse Fox. I think that's the thing. Doing something different can always lead to a problem. Drive your line and drive what you know. Don't drive something because other people are doing it. If you're conserving and saving your tyres, drive the same line, because by the end, it could be one less pit stop that you've got to make because you've got tyres to get there. So for Fox, I think now he's running that lower line. I think he's probably struggling a little bit in this third part, but me, I would just like to see him go back to that smooth upside driving that he was doing before and slowly making his way up. So for Jesse Fox, he's got some decision making, I think, on his hands, Biggles, as well. And the same for Kensley Smith. He's got to be looking at what he's doing and whether or not it's working at the moment.
And more importantly, James, they're the ones that boxed earlier than the others. So they boxed on lap 67. You got to start to crunch some on. We have 41 to go, James. So you don't want to be looking at squeezing 2 pit stops in here for tires. That'll make these stretch out, so you can at least get to the lap 35 or so range, so that you can get to the end of the race. Because you got to know that the drivers, the likes of Andrew and Alex and Corey, that are leading this race at the top 3, they boxed on 69, 72, and 72 laps. So they got one more stop to go. This is going to be difficult for the likes of these drivers that you're talking about right now. When do they start thinking about coming? They want to come in too early because there's still 40 to go. But they are struggling right now. You can see just with the time differences.
Yeah, you can see the stint lengths on the bottom. You can see everybody went 32, 33, and then we have 35, 36, and now we're at 27. Some are on 22 here as well. So the likes of Alex and Corey went in that little bit later. So they took that middle second bit a little bit longer, but as exactly what Rhea has said, in oval, there's really only one fast line. The others are better for tyres or fuel, but nailing that fast line for 134 laps is really hard. And it is because of the variables that you've got to think of what you're scrubbing your tyres. You don't want to try and scrub your tyres. You want to try and make them up. And you can see Kane here, who's just slowly gone about his business now. He's staying off the little bit on the radar, started moving up to the back end of Corey, and now Fox is also on the back of Kensley Smith as well. So they're now in their stage of 97 laps. They've only got 37 to go. They've got to be looking at what they're doing. They've got to be now working out, do I need a pit? Look at the steering input, how it changed from when we first looked at it, Biggles.
Just looking at those last lap times, so the top 4 drivers are in the 32 clubs. That's last lap, 32 seconds. 33s for the rest of the field, so that's the crucial part. You can look at that right now. Just you can see as you get closer to the car, that's where it starts to become a little bit more misbehaving. 5th gear up there, full revs, almost hitting the 8K. Drops it down to about 7.69, yeah, about 6.8 actually. Put the minimum revs back on the gas there gently and gingerly. Look at that, almost max speed there on rev limit. And job done, gets the overtake on the inside. Dennis, whether you're going to tuck up, you can't tuck up on back onto the wall there because you still have Corey on the outside. Corey's now going to have a little bit more exit speed. Meanwhile, while they're doing all this, James, too, remember, you got a driver like Dennis has got fresher boots that probably starting to come into play now because Corey's tyres are about 3 laps older.
Well, yeah, because obviously Dennis... No, actually, it's the other way. Because Dennis went in on 69, Corey went in on 72.
Oh, sorry, you're right, yeah.
Yeah, so
sorry, yeah,
Corey's are younger than Dennis is. But the thing is as well, is how they're being driven. You know, I can come in 10 laps after somebody. If I'm going to go and rag them tyres round this oval, I'm not going to last as the guy who went in 10 laps before me, who's saving his tyres all the way through. So it really does depend, obviously, for Corey and the likes of Jesse and what they're doing, particularly with their tyres. I think that's going to be the interesting thing to see. We're on 101. We're down to the last 33. Let's see how this one pans out.
Biggles. Now. Yeah,
it's got to. Yeah, Jesse's got to.
Fox. Yep. And he has stretched them. Okay, so that's not too bad.
No, don't do that. Don't do that. No. Oh, you're going to give yourself a penalty. That will be possibly an unsafe pit entry here. You can see here, he just doesn't quite make his mind up quick enough. He comes off.
Do you think he was calling the shots there from Jesse's box? And so Jesse goes straight back in there and he goes, all right, I want to go in there as well, and realizes last minute.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh.
And the line's right there, remember, for your pit lane. Well, we want to see whether or not race control is going to deem anything about a speeding violation.
I don't think he might. If he could have got the speed down, he might have got the speed down, but it's whether or not he's going to get a hold because of
Andrew's in and Alex is in, so everybody's coming in now, James.
Yeah, they're all in. Everybody's coming in. Literally, the only
Corey
man still
hasn't stayed out.
Yeah. But you can see here with Jarrett, he's still in the pit lane. He's still sitting there. It's been over a minute, and the average has been about 48. So I'm wondering if Jarrett, by doing that, has given himself an unsafe pit entry. And unfortunately, you just got to sit there, sir. There's nothing you can do. That move probably wasn't the best way of going about doing that.
I think you're 100% right on that one, James, because it should be about a 45, give or take, for your overall pit stop time, and that's a 124. So that's punishing big time. That late decision, I'm not quite sure how that panned out, but so Dennis is now coming out of the pit road. Is everybody taking their pit stops for the last time here this evening, potentially?
Yeah, I think so. Dennis is the last one.
So Corey, the new race leader.
Only for now, dear sir. Only for now.
Yeah, because he's got a box lap. 72 was the last time he boxed.
Yeah, you're sitting here on the pit lap. You can see they've done it through this one as well. So some of the drivers have gone a little bit longer, others have gone a little bit shorter. And for Corey, he's just got to make a decision what he's going to do. He's obviously at the moment a lap ahead of everyone else. But there we go. Alex just goes underneath him, and Corey's, I think, to be honest, I think he should have got in when everybody else does. I believe he's missed a trick. And as you see,
he stayed out because he could be getting a nice little tow here as well, too, from that traffic up the road. Well, essentially, for him, it's traffic now leading the race.
The problem now is not the fact that he's gone in now. It's the fact that on track, he did not stay in front of Andrew. He didn't stay in front of Alex. He's not even at a standstill at the moment either. So he's not even being serviced. He could potentially here end up down in at least 4th or 5th place because the front two are already coming around the exit of 4.
Yeah, they've got him.
Yeah,
I want to see about number 4. Keep an eye on Dennis. Dennis Khan. That's going to be the key, isn't it? Can he get out ahead of Dennis?
Well, I've got this funny feeling. The fact that they've got to run that exit all the way round. He's putting tyres on. He's only just on his boots now. He's going to get taken here. He could end up, Corey, that one little slip up could put him down in 7th place. Even the likes of Paul Shaw. Oh, no, he's going to come out in... Where is Corey? He's just there. He's going to come out in 6th. And that one left it too late. If he was going to leave it late, he should have made sure he was going in front of the leaders, and he didn't. They lapped him already. So, unfortunately, definitely wrong. Yeah. No, I'm wrong.
But look who it's panned out for here. Look who it's panned out for. Dennis.
Yep.
P3 now for Dennis. And now with the remaining 28 laps, he can get the pedal to the metal and try to catch the brothers up the road there of Alex and Andrew. It's a tall order, but you can see on the track
it's a
map where
big
they
ask.
are.
It's a big ask. I'm not going to lie. If you turn around and said, go for it, it's definitely a big ask here as well because he's got a big old gap. He's got about 13 seconds.
He needs a caution, doesn't he? Like he puts in there at the moment, praying for a caution.
Absolutely. He needs his field bunched back up to even be remotely in a chance of getting this second or win here, I think, for Dennis, because even Kensley Smith slowly started crawling him back in as well.
This is the tight thing. So Dennis, I would expect to see a nice fight here between Dennis and Kensley Smith because Dennis needs to maximize these points, as you said, like damage limitation more for Dennis right now. So he can't afford. He has to fight like a tooth and nail. He has to basically feel like he's going to be a Carlos Sainz with Red Bulls around him, tooth and nail. Spoiler alert for the Italian GP. With 26. Marco says 69 go. Oh, I thought you said 69 to go. I read that wrong. Get him, Fox. Well, Mr. Fox, Jesse Fox at the moment's in P5. He's gained 4 positions. 69 machine. He does have Corey Corral going super quick, the fastest lap and the last lap behind him, but Corey is a little bit and change down the road. So we'll see how it pans out. It's more about Dennis having to hold off currently the 15 machine to keep himself on that podium.
I think that's the thing, is whether or not Dennis can hold on to the podium. We've got 25 to go now. The laps are clicking off. We were on 34 a minute ago, and now we're down to the last 24 laps. Can Dennis hang it on here? Watch Corey. Don't forget, he has got at least 5 laps of younger tyres compared to everybody else. So for Corey here, he can see that podium. There's Dennis. There's Kensley just gone out the picture, and there's Jesse. So for Corey, it's whether or not he's going to be able to get. It's whether or not he's going to be able to get them. I think, for my opinion, he might have left it a little bit too late. But I'm not going to never say never. Let's just put it that way.
Well, 23 is a lot. We're looking initially at the whole tire length of the cars. The reason why they can go a little bit further now with those tires is because the fuel you're burning off. You don't have to worry about putting any more fuel in the car. That's it. The gas in the tank as the car gets lighter, going to be a little bit more quicker and perhaps easier to drive. Should be easier to drive, no doubt. So it's now just crunch time because the drivers are practically spread out. The only closest battle you can see currently at the moment on your screens is the battle for P3. And the rest of the field, as you can see in the track map, are just spread out. So now they're just racing the clock and not the other cars more than anything. And Kensley Smith, we can see right now on wherever that camera is, it must be sliding right out on the rear wing.
It's on his boom arm.
It's on his boom arm,
yeah,
exactly.
He pressed the button and it sent it out to the other side. You know what I mean? He's got one on this side as well. Look, you can see there.
Yeah. Oh, he's going to hit the wall of it too. Whoa! All right.
There goes my GoPro. Not going to lie. Yeah. Maybe I shouldn't have
There was actually going back to it, the cameras that started installing those Formula 1 cars back in the day actually get off the very side rear wing.
Yep.
One of them had come off actually and caused one of the Ferraris to actually have a DNF one time where the camera broke off. So teams weren't happy too much about installing cameras back in the days, but fortunately for us, even in the real world situation, the cameras are all tucked in nice. And in the virtual world at the moment, we can put a camera anywhere you want, just not under their gearbox, okay? It's a little private.
Yes, very much so. You don't want to be putting
it under
bay
too. We don't want to reveal those engine secrets.
No, definitely not. But there are probably some places you would really want a camera, to be honest, within this virtual environment that we are, I suppose, living in general. You know, love a camera, a drone cam that goes round across.
Like this one, James, because this gives you like a sensation because, the camera's matching the speed. You can see everything zooming by at 1,000,000 miles an hour. But you can see how slow the rear of the car is. You can see how it slips a little bit. You won't see that with the naked eye generally. You probably wouldn't even see it if you're... See a little tweak there on the 15 car at the rear? It's the tiniest moment, but that's all it takes on the precision motor racing of ovals.
Exactly.
So tiny things like that cost you 1/10.
Yeah, and Andrew is just about to start coming round, putting laps on Paul Short here. as it's got the last 18, just goes over to the line, takes the 18 to go. Let's see how he's going to handle these back markers, because obviously within NASCAR, obviously blue flags work a little bit different. You know what I mean? You don't have to jump out the way, as much as I would love that to be able to happen, but it doesn't. So they can stay with the car in front as long as they're not impeding the car. So, you know, for the likes of Paul Shaw here, who is in that Mutant Teenage Ninja Turtle livery, which I think looks absolutely stunning, as well. He can, obviously, from his point of view, try and stay with Andrew, but he just can't kind of impede him.
It's a racing against the clock right now with 17 to go, and it's man versus machine versus turtles versus everything you can versus Kentucky, of course. And let's see how it's going to pan out. As you can see, they're bunched up now, so this is the next three-way battle. A little close battle between P3 and P4 that's starting to break off a little bit. Nothing I think Andrew needs to worry about with a 2-second gap to his brother. They do have traffic coming up from them too, James, so we'll see how that pans out.
Yeah, Corey's just taken Fox now, so Corey has moved that move. So next on his list is Kensley Smith. Andrew's just getting on to the back there of the 25 car of Paul Shaw. And I'm expecting Andrew he's got to go running straight underneath him.
No blue flag rules when it comes to James here. You want to get him started about that one?
No, don't. Jesse's not had a good time at the moment. He's dropped down the order a little bit, and unfortunately for Jesse, he's dropping it off the back of Corey. Paul Shaw's just gone a lap down as well. Corey's now trying to get on to the back of Kensley Smith. 15 to go, 7 temps. It looks like the man that could be on the move here is Corey Crowell once more trying to make up these positions.
He's got to, because he's got Jesse chasing him down as well too. So Corey's in a little bit of a mix here. He's got to get past Kensley if he wants that P4 position, Kensley Smith. Or if he makes a mistake, Jesse Fox is going to be ready to pounce on him. So it's a great battle with 14 to go, James. This is when it really comes to crunch time for the next gen oval racing here for the Racers Elite. Round 10, about halfway through the season at the moment. 14 to go.
Yeah, Sarah, did you say there was some sort of caution flag? No, we did not. That there isn't been a caution as well. And what is a blue flag? So anybody that watches road,
get him started.
Well, anyway, I'm going to tell you, Sarah, because we're in an informative channel. Anybody that watches road racing, so like Formula One or anything like that, if the leader comes up to lap the back marker, which is the last guy in the field, they give the last guy a blue flag, which generally means facilitate a move and allow the leader to go through. Now, obviously, we know within iRacing that facilitate word means I'm going to block as hard as I can and I'm not going to let you through. So it's unfortunately my bane of my life, because I grew up with Formula One rules, that they literally jump out the way, and that is, as far as I can see, how all races should be. But in NASCAR it's different. The blue flags don't really pay effect. I don't even think there is any. But in road racing, that's what they are. They are only there in iRacing to make you aware that a faster driver is approaching, apparently. Me personally, just get out of the way. It's so much easier. It's less hassle for everyone. It doesn't mean that in iRacing. I know it doesn't mean that in iRacing, Maria. I know what it means. Facilitate, which is the word that people can't seem to translate into.
Give us some wet weather racing. Let's get some thunderstorms right now that won't do the oval tracks anyway.
Can you imagine blue flags on thunderstorms? Alex is just putting a lap, unfortunately, on Jarrett Larder there. Can you imagine rain, blue flags?
Yeah.
It'd be horrendous.
Fun.
I might as well get.
Well, this is the thing about virtual sim racing that we touched on before, James. I mean, I understand we could try to mimic the racing series that you have for the different racing category, the real life racing, but we have the luxury of fixing things around a little bit, changing things around. So we could do, wet weather races and oval tracks and stuff that you can't do, that wouldn't do in real life for safety. But hey, the safety that we have here is that you just bing your car into a fence and you can still get up and have dinner with your family later on and not have to worry about being in hospital. So we can switch things up a little bit.
And you don't have to worry about the repair bill or your insurance bill.
Yeah,
Going
exactly.
up. Ria says, F1, you have to move. iRacing's entire racing code of conduct says it's up to the passing car. Yeah, me preferably just... lift off, let them through, get out of the way. It's easy. Never ending wing of face, but get out of the way. Lol. Yeah, sorry, dude. You've clearly never been here for a blue flag rant when somebody has not removed themselves from the situation. Corey's now going to take that podium away from Dennis. We did say Corey going in those 3 laps longer, later, was whether or not he was going to get it. So I've got to apologise, Corey. I thought he said he left it a bit too late, but he's managed to get back up onto the podium. I don't think he's going to get Alex. Alex is about 14.5 seconds up the road. You can see Alex just coming around that top part. He's also going to come and put a lap on Paul Shaw as well. So let's see how they get on. Fox is up 3 places, sitting in 6th at the moment.
What happened with Dennis said? Yeah, it was a little replay of that overtake there because Dennis scrubbed a ton of speed there to Corey. I'm surprised that there was that much of a difference. It looked like, to me, sometimes of course it occurs in other racing, but it looks like a slowdown, and he just like completely left off the gas there. And I'm surprised that Dennis give that position away that.
I don't think he's got the tyres to fight it. I don't think Dennis's tyres he went in on 102. He's only got 7 to go. I don't think he's got the tyres here to fight it. And I've just been told off in YouTube chat by Ria, who's just gone, listen, here's the thing, James. I agree with you. Oh, all right. Oh. But it's much funnier to throw the book at you.
Ria. Oh.
See?
No, Ria's just like, doesn't want to hear the blue flag situation anymore, James. It's over and done with.
Well,
okay, we're burying it.
Look, I was answering a question and Sarah said thank you because she's fairly new to all of this. So she said thank you very much for answering questions. So that's why we do this, for the viewers.
Jesse Fox putting about pressure right now on Kensley. So Kensley said, she said tyres are falling off Kensley Smith at the moment. Big time trouble there. Jesse Fox got to try to seize the opportunity with 5 to go there, James. Saying if Dennis can do it, I can do it. It's up to Kensley Smith to deny the hometown hero of Jesse Fox a possible P5.
Well, let's see if Fox can make this 4 places gained here as well in that 69 Sunoco car once more here, and whether or not he's going to be able to get past. If this caution comes out now, don't forget, it's going to be an interesting one in the end. Oh, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Don't do it. Go for it. Give some entertainment before to go. You got to risk it for the biscuit. It's called the motor race, James.
Yeah, you've got to go now. If you're going to leave it, Jesse, till right at the end, mate, you're going to struggle. If you're going to go, go. You know what I mean? Don't leave it too long. Put it up the inside. Do something with him. As we're on 3 to go here as well. Andrew and Alex both started their 3, but it's whether or not Fox is going to get past here, whether or not he's going to look at the inside. He's jiggling around. We can see we're going to try the high line that he's been running for most of the race. Is he going to bounce it off? Well, it's going to be close here, Biggles.
It's going to have to cut back down here and tuck in behind. What's at the racing line on the inside? Kensley going super defensive. That's scrub a ton of speed here. But there's nowhere Jesse could point the car. Jesse was going to look up the inside. It was lock the door. Slam shut, James, you said. Preventing that burglary.
Mate, Kensley just literally chucked a block onto Fox as if Kensley was a linebacker for the Giants or something here. He literally just grabbed hold of it, put his car up the front, and now that's cost him. Now Fox is going to have that inside line. We are going to be on the final lap of the race very, very soon. Kensley's opened the inside line for Fox here, and you can see Fox is now getting ahead bit by bit. Final lap of the race. Here we go. I'll keep an eye on the leader, but it's all about this battle here for this final position on 5th and 6th.
Oh, I have to lift off a little bit. 15, this could be it. 15 could get a good exit on here. Jesse's going to stick up the inside apron and then hug it like your favorite grandma. Have to scrub a little bit of speed off. It's going to be a photo finish between these two. We've had 100 and X amount of laps there, James, and it's going to come down to this. We know that the Teff brothers have got it done. There's Andrew. There's Alex. Yeah. Corey's going to slot into that P3 position with Dennis, but what's going to be that situation with Jess and Kensley?
Well, here they come. You can see now Andrew's gone over. He's over the line. He's taking a win. Alex in second. Corey's going to come over in third. Is Fox going to hang on here from Smith? This is going to be the question. Is he going to come through and hold on for this rundown onto the line? I think Fox is going to hold on. He is going to hold on, and he does hold on. And he comes over in 5th place. But Andrew Teft and Alex, they're the two brothers here, doing a absolute fabulous job winning this race and taking the 1-2 for the Teft brothers here once more. So stunning end there to this evening of racing. I think we've got to admit that final 10 laps were always going to be exciting, and they were once more. But let's bring you up the results of this race, and you can see Andrew Teft is your winner with Alex in second place, Corey Crowell in third, Dennis Kane fourth, Jesse Fox in fifth, Kenzie Smith sixth, Paul Shaw seventh, Jarrett Larder eighth, Scotty Davis ninth, and Gay Medu, who don't believe actually started the race here as well. But I tell you what we'll do, let's have a chat with Andrew, who has come over the line and taken that victory. Never really looked in jeopardy from the beginning. His brother got a little bit close, but not close enough. Andrew is your winner. Andrew, welcome into the booth. Good evening to you, sir. How are you?
Doing well. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you very much. You've kind of just gone out and, I would say politely, dominated the field, wouldn't you say? It was a nice little drive for you.
Yeah, I was kind of just leaving it in 5th gear. I don't know if people were shifting or what was going on, but I was just a lot faster on the long run. Seemed like my brother was too.
Yeah, there was a couple of shifting down to 4th here as well. I don't think that was, I thought this might have been an all 5th gear lap, to be honest, but some were shifting down. Now for you, that cements your place in the championship. Obviously Dennis has finished 4th, so you're going to get some nice little point gains on him as well. So looking forward, what do you think of the wrapping the championship up? Do you think you can do it within, by the time you get to Phoenix?
Yeah, we're carrying a lot of momentum. I've had a lot of success in this series. Need a little bit more in the Wednesday night series, but yeah, I'm feeling pretty good overall. Races have been super clean. Not really worried about anything too unpredictable.
Do you know what happened to Scotty Davis?
I'm not sure exactly. I think I saw him down on the backstretch, and then maybe he towed back or something, because I think he disappeared.
Yeah, I think he just disconnected. We think maybe he might have had a technical issue. But Andrew, thank you so much for joining us. Anyone you want to shout out before I let you go?
Yeah, thoughts still to Tony's family and the SRM family. Definitely a tragic loss, and we will miss him. But thank you guys for filling in again on short notice. We really appreciate it. Thank you to everybody for tuning in and sticking with us with all the changes of plans this week. But yeah, just thank you all around.
No worries. Thank you so much for popping in, bud, and having a chat with us. And I'll catch up with you soon, no doubt.
Yep, thank you.
Right, I'll tell you what we'll do. Let's have a chat with Alex now, of course, the brother of Andrew. Now, it'd be good to know whether or not Alex thought he was going to beat his brother. Alex, welcome into the booth. How are you, sir?
Not too bad. And yourself?
I'm not bad, thank you very much as well. Watched an interesting race. Started second, finished second. Did you think you were going to get him? Did you think you were going to get Andrew?
Yeah, I just decided on the wrong strategy. I took that splash and go at the caution, thinking maybe I could stay at a couple laps or something like that. But once that second fuel cycle happened, I just lost way too much time staying out and just couldn't make it back. I was quicker than him on the long run, so I should have just stayed with the same strategy he was doing.
Yeah, because you definitely closed him in as well after that first pit stop, after that first caution. I was a bit surprised that people did go in on that splash and dash. What was the thinking on that one? Because, it's not a normal strategy to be able to go and do that, especially with some people had already pitted early on as well, a couple of laps back. So what was the thinking behind that?
Just trying to do something different, because He's usually, beats me all the time. So trying to do something a little different, maybe, catch another quick caution or stay out after that, something like that. Just trying to get off schedule from everybody else.
Yeah, trying to do something different is always a good thing if it works. It's a bad thing if it doesn't. But Alex, thank you so much for joining us. Anyone you want to shout out before I let you go?
Yeah, just want to thank you guys for coming and broadcasting for us on short notice. Thanks to Races Elite and everyone who comes out from week to week and everyone who watches. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Awesome stuff. Well, thank you, Alex, for joining us. And you never know, might see you again soon.
All right, sounds good.
Take
Catch you
care.
later.
Right, and now we can have a chat with the third place man, Corey, here, who has joined us. I do officially, really, in hindsight, need to apologise to Mr. Corey here as well. I did say that after your final stop, Diz, you left it a little bit late to try and recover the podium, but you proved me completely wrong. Went past Kenzie Smith, went past JC Fox and Dennis Kane. So well done to you, Corey. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. First off, I want to start by saying I want to keep Tony's family in my thoughts and prayers. It's a huge loss for the community. So.
Absolutely. And we did mention it right at the beginning as well. And, obviously, loss at any time is harsh. And, to you guys who have known Tony, it's even tougher. So, it is always tough going forward into the race. Did that play an effect? Did you sit back and think, you're thinking of all of these things, all of these emotions, all of these situations going on as well? And then you go and what could be seen as a master stroke at the end, you stay out a little bit longer than everybody else, get that pit stop done, and then manage to catch up at third place. What was the thinking on that one?
Well, first, I missed all of practice. I was running late on a football game, and I didn't get back in time. I got back with 2 minutes left to qualifying. So the beginning of the race was kind of figuring out what I needed to do with the car and the track. Going through it, kind of figured it out pretty quickly. I worked my way up to third, battling with Dennis there for a while. And then, that last stop, I thought that Alex and Andrew were going to be a little short. So I figured they were going to be in savings. So I figured I could stay out a little longer. But I missed it by a couple laps. Had a little bit extra in there that I shouldn't have. So it worked out, though. Third place.
Yeah, third, you got to be happy with that at the end of the day. You know what I mean? It could have been a lot worse for you as well. As you say, I think it was a couple of laps late, I'm not going to lie, because I think the thing for me that kind of determined that was the fact that Alex and Andrew both got past you after they pitted as well. So for you, I think you were nearly there on that cusp of greatness, Corey, I'm not going to lie. And then it just went a little bit wrong. But, you got to be happy with third place considering.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome stuff, Corey. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Of course, you've done your shout out at the beginning of the interview. Is there anyone else you want to shout out before I let you go?
You for broadcasting it, Races Elite for the league, and then B. Effins Designs for helping me design some cars.
Awesome stuff. Well, Corey, thank you so much for joining us here, bud. And, you never know. See what happens. We might speak to you again soon.
Yep. Thanks.
Take care. Well, there you go, Biggles. It's a bit of a somber atmosphere, I think, here as well, within the community. Obviously, with the recent loss of Tony, who normally does their broadcasting as well. But overall, the racing was good. Yeah, it wasn't a massive turnout. But it's something to build on. And hopefully going into the next round, they might get a few more people appearing on track.
Yeah, absolutely fun. And thank you very much for everybody for tuning in and engaging with us as well too, James. So it was great. And Kentucky always produces. So thank you very much for having me in the booth.
No worries at all. Well, guys, that is going to round out tonight's broadcast. Thank you so much for everybody that's joined me here as well. Stephanie Miller, Sarah Smile, and Mako, Jesse, of course, coming in as well with Ria and Phil, and Never-Ending Winkleface has also joined and stayed with us. So thank you so much to all of you people. Apologies if I've missed anyone. Just let me know and I will correct it. Don't forget, guys, if you've got any comments, drop them down in the comment section after the race and I will reply reply when I can. But for now, guys, from myself up here in the booth, I've been James Parfitt alongside Dean Biggles. You all take care. Have a great week. And you never know, we might see you on the track sometime. Good night.